Lesson 3, topic graphing with tables, learning target. I can use an input-output table to graph a linear function. All right, some key vocab words. Reminder from last lesson, linear. Remember it has that word line in it, so it will graph a straight line. Function means for each input value, so our x values, you get one unique output value, those y values. And then function form, an equation written in y equals form. So down here we have some examples. Function form starts off with y equals. Those are the first things you see when you read it. Y equals 3 plus 2x. That would be function form. Not function form, if you see, is 2x, so we don't see that y equals right at the beginning. It starts with 2x minus 7y equals 19. So that is not function form. Quick check, is this written in function form? Yes or no? The equation y minus 3x equals 8. Is that written in function form? Tell me an Edpuzzle. Let's graph. So we talked about input-output tables last class. Now we're going to use those input-output tables to make a graph. So the first thing we want to do is check for function form. So is it in y equals? So we look at our function. Y equals 2x minus 3. It starts with that y equals, so check. 2, make an input-output table. So that's what those tables are for. So let's make our input-output table for y equals 2x minus 3. We have 2x, I'm going to put a parenthesis, minus 3. So the first number that goes in the parenthesis is negative 1. 2 times negative 1 minus 3. So I'm going to use my calculator. 2 times negative 1 minus 3. It's negative 5. So I can put negative 5 here for y. Then I'm going to do the same thing, except for now in my parenthesis, I'm going to put 0. So now I have 2 times 0 minus 3. So we do 2 times 0 minus 3, negative 3. Next value, put 1 into our function, 2 times 1 minus 3. So again, I can use my calculator if I need. 2 times 1 minus 3, negative 1. And then the last one, we put 2 into our function. So 2 times 2 minus 3. Use my calculator if I need. 2 times 2 minus 3 gives me 1. So now I've done my input-output table. Now I need to plot and connect the points. So this is the new one, plot and connect the points. So if you look at this table, this actually gives us in some coordinate points. So we have x numbers and y numbers. So remember, coordinate points are x, y. So this actually gave us coordinate points. So we have coordinate point negative 1, negative 5, coordinate point 0, negative 3, 1, negative 1, and 2, 1. So these are all coordinate points that we can put on our graph. So negative 1, negative 5. We go to negative 1 on our x-axis, and then we go down to negative 5 on our y-axis, and that's right there. So this is why we talked about plotting points first, because we need that skill to graph a function. So I've got that one. Now I'm going to do 0, negative 3. So 0 means I don't go left or right, but I'm going to go down to negative 3. 1, negative 1. So we go 1, negative 1 right there. And then 2, 1. So over 2, up 1. Now, the check piece is super important. Is the line straight? So when I connect these points, did I make a straight line? And the answer is yes, I did. So that is good because we're working with linear functions. which means we need to graph straight lines. All right, last function that we're going to do, y equals 5 minus 3x. So first off, check for function form. Is it in that y equals form? Yes, it is, so we're good. Second step, make an input-output table. So we're going to fill out our input-output table. So we have y equals 5 minus 3. Instead of x, the first number I'm going to put is -1. So with this, we can do in our calculator 5 minus 3 times -1. And that gives us 8. So I can put 8 into my function. Next one, we're going to put 0 into our function. So y equals 5 minus 3 times 0. Using our calculator, 5 minus 3 times 0 equals 5. Next, I put 1 into the function, so y equals 5 minus 3 times 1. Which equals 2. And lastly, put 2 into my function. And that'll give us -1. So now that we made our input-output table, now we get to plot and connect the points. So remember, these are coordinate points. So we have -1, 8, which we can't really put on the graph. It would be up here somewhere. 0, 5. So we do 0, 5. 1, 2. So over 1 up 2 right there. And then 2, -1. So it's right 2, down 1. Last step, make sure you connect the points. And then ask yourself, is the line straight? Yes, it is. So we are good to go. That's all the notes that I have for you. Please move into your practice.